units, this is Battalion 2. We have smoke showing. We're approaching. Upgrade second alarm. All units, this is Battalion 2. I'll have command of a medium-sized aircraft. Defensive fire conditions, heavy fire in the Charlie and Delta divisions. We're going to be using our turrets to protect the fuselage.
ARFF Command Function 5.1, Communications with Tower and Pilot. Tower Communications. ARFF must request access anytime they proceed in the airport movement area according to your local FAA regulations. The lead ARFF vehicle will establish command with the tower and will be in command for the emergency. Other than clearance into the movement areas or runways, command will be the only one speaking to tower, unless you're specifically called out by tower. Command will repeat all pertinent tower and pilot radio transmissions on the ARFF operations channel. Pilot communications. The pilot has the responsibility for the safety of the aircraft and its passengers. Coordinate all operations with the pilot. On true emergencies, it is critical to speak directly with the pilot. In these cases, request the pilot to go 121.1, the DF frequency, or any other prescribed frequency from tower. Update the pilot on exterior conditions and coordinate evacuation or shelter in place. Emergency alerts. Emergency alerts. An alert 1 is declared when it is believed that an aircraft has an operational defect that is not sufficiently serious enough to interfere with routine aircraft landing. A safe landing is expected. Examples of alert 1s are minor oil leaks, flap problems, airspeed indicators, or any warning lights. Alert 2s are declared when the aircraft's operational defect is serious enough to create a possibility of an accident. So alert 2s are any positive indications of fire on board, faulty landing gear, no hydraulic pressure, engine failure on a 2-engine large aircraft. Alert 3s are declared when an aircraft has crashed on or off the airport. There is a high probability of the aircraft crashing, or the pilot has indicated that the aircraft landing gear will not work and therefore the pilot will have to crash land on the airport. Emergency alerts. Standby alert is an alert in which the estimated time of the aircraft needing emergency service is 5 or more minutes from the time the alert is called in. Emergency alert is an alert in which an estimated time of arrival of the aircraft needing emergency service is less than 5 minutes from the time the alert is called in, or an actual emergency on the airport property that is already in progress. The criteria for these alerts are solely based on the amount of time needed by emergency equipment to respond to the scene in a timely manner, rather than the nature of the emergency. ARFF apparatus movements during in-flight emergencies. Rule of thumb: the pilot has the responsibility for the safety of the aircraft and its passengers. Coordinate all operations with the pilot. Do not block taxiing aircraft. Once the aircraft has stopped, do not automatically take a committed position on the aircraft unless requested for investigation or you can visually see a problem. Stand by for directions from the IC. ARFF apparatus movements during in-flight emergencies. For alert 1s or standby alerts, when a safe landing is expected, ARFF vehicles can remain in their standby positions. The IC should be in communications with the tower or the pilot and request pilot's intentions. If the pilot terminates the emergency and there is no problem, the initial radar report and 360 is not necessary. Upon termination of the incident, the IC should announce, "Emergency has been terminated. One truck followed the park. All other units can secure. Service is not needed." If a problem exists, see next slide. Okay, here's our alert 1 with a 717 with flat problems coming in. We're not expecting anything to happen. This is a minor problem. Here's our trucks in their standby positions awaiting the aircraft. The aircraft's going to land here on the runway and then pull off to the taxiway into the gate. So right here, command says down and rolling, nothing showing. Pilot's going to terminate. All of our apparatus are not going to respond to a level 1 here. They're going to hold positions because pilot's not indicating a problem or you're not visually seeing anything. Now, if something starts to show or the pilot reports something, the first truck on scene can mitigate and the other trucks can come to a level 1. But for alert 1s, minor problems, we can stay in our standby positions. ARFF apparatus movement during an in-flight emergency for Alert 2 emergency alerts. The IC should be communicating with tower and the pilot on a designated frequency, normally the DEF, the discrete emergency frequency. For example, ground, can I speak with the pilot on 121.1? All ARFF apparatuses should move to a level 1 position and stand by for IC's TLO. If investigation is requested by the pilot, move into the front position of the aircraft. If there's an obvious problem, all apparatuses should move into the appropriate positions to mitigate the hazard. Coordinate attacks on any visible fire, monitor and report any smoke showing condition. All other apparatus should come to a level 1 staging or support the first truck on scene. Here's our Alert 2 scenario. It's a 717 with a total loss of hydraulic power. It is an escalated alarm. It's much more serious than the Alert 1. So from the Alert 1's standby positions, we go into the Alert 2. All of our apparatus will come to a level 1 staging here around the aircraft. We're not going to commit to it. If they do see something, we're going to start to position on it. But at this point, it's a hydraulic failure. Command will reach out to the pilot and confirm that. Once that's confirmed, command will have his apparatuses move to the front of the aircraft to conduct an investigation to see the seriousness of the problem. Command will do a 360 and start to begin his TLOs from here. Apparatus movements during an Alert 3. All ARFF apparatuses should proceed directly to the scene. The first apparatus on scene will provide the initial rotary report, attack the fire, and protect passengers. The second apparatus should support the first. The third apparatus protect exposures. All other responding units to a level 1 staging. The IC's TLO will focus on fire attack and to maintain rescue corridors. If possible, the incident command post will be located at the nose of the aircraft, and all incoming resources should begin staging behind the incident command post. Here's our Alert 3 scenario. We have the 717 that has crash landed here. So for Alert 3s, we're going to respond directly to the scene. The first truck on scene will begin to mitigate the hazard. Here we have truck 1 is fire attack here on this number 2 engine. The number 2 truck is supporting number 1 truck, and number 3 truck here is getting the exposures. Command is here off the pilot side, monitoring the escape. So difference between Alert 2s and Alert 3s is that our trucks will come directly to the scene to begin mitigating the hazard. That concludes ARFF Command Function 5.1, Communications with Tower and Pilot.
All units, this is Battalion 2. We have smoke showing. We're approaching. Upgrade second alarm. All units, this is Battalion 2. I'll have command of a medium-sized aircraft. Defensive fire conditions. Heavy fire in the Charlie and Delta divisions. We're going to be using our turrets to protect the